Hi, I'm Peter Cowan, the Bee Whisperer. It is a cold morning. It's about December 13th. It's about 20 degrees, coming up to 9 a.m. and I'm in one of my Winterport yards at the moment. And today I'm finally wrapping up 2022 beehives. I should have had it done yesterday, but I was short a few screws and some bee cozies. I had the bee cozies, but I didn't have enough screws to finish the job. I used screws to stop the bee cozies covering the entrances. I've got 4 live hives left that need a screw over the entrance to stop the bee cozy sliding down over the entrance, and then all these hives are short of a screw to stop the bee cozy covering up the front entrance as well. So the purpose of the second screw, we've got a screw down here to stop that entrance getting blocked up, but we need a screw here so the bees can get in and out of that cover there. So the job is almost done. But out of these 16 hives, 12 are done except for the upper screw, and just 4 to go here. And then I'll finally be done with getting my hives ready for the winter, and I won't be coming out to bees again until probably February. Towards the end of February is when I want to check my hives, to check their weights and that sort of thing. I know they've all got enough honey in their hives to keep them going through most of the winter, if not all of it. But just for my own peace of mind, I'll be going around late February, earlier if we have a significantly warm or significantly cold winter, and then just double checking. I'll be hefting the hives, breaking them free of ice at the bottom to lift them to see how heavy they are, because I'm certainly not going to open them unless I feel like I have to open them. But that will be the only job I need to do over the winter months, is heft the hives, and if necessary put some winter patties in there. Typically for my winter patties, any hives that I feel are lightweight right now, I've put some winter patties in. I use Dadant winter patties here, and so I will go around and put some of those in if necessary. But I've actually only put about 20 patties in over 100 hives altogether. So my hives are pretty much on target for the winter. So what we'll do is set up the camera and I'll zip through getting these hives, the final hive, ready for this winter. Normally I would like to have had these hives ready before now. I've been very lucky with the winter this year. We've had a very warm fall, which is a good thing and a bad thing. But the fact it's been a warm fall has meant that I've not had to rush to get these final preparations done. There is always the risk, of course, that we get a heavy snowstorm. And if we get a heavy snowstorm, then I'm screwed, because I've got to do all this in 20 inches of snow. I've known us have 40 inches of snow on the ground before this time of year. So I would much rather have had this job completed several weeks ago. But I've been lucky, and I'll be grateful to get the jobs done now. So yeah, that's the only priority. I mean, right now it's cold. Just this week, it's been the first really winter-like week that we've had, where it's only just getting into the 30s, and it's been down into the teens at night. I felt bad for the bees not having them wrapped up by then, but they can cope with cold like that. What they find difficult coping with is when the temperature drops really quickly. And we haven't had days like that. It's just been steadily cold, which is fine. And the bees will cope with that. But getting insulation on now will mean that they'll have to eat less honey to keep warm. What the insulation, in my view, what the insulation really helps with is when those temperatures drop really fast and the heat radiates out of a hive like this really quickly. And it means that if you've gone from, say, a 45-degree day down to 5 degrees in a few hours, you'll have had bees that have broken cluster, they're all over the hive, and then when the temperature drops really fast and the heat radiates out, the bees literally cannot get back into a cluster fast enough, and they start becoming immobile all over the hive, and they start just grouping up in little golf ball size clusters, all of which are too small to keep warm on a 5-degree night, and the bees die, leaving what cluster we do have left too small to survive the winter. So that's why I insulate my hives. I had one winter where I lost more than half my hives in the space of a couple of nights for that very reason, when I did not insulate my hives. And people will tell you what they like about insulation. They've got their hives through the winter all the time without insulating. That's great, congratulations. But what I have found is that I will lose hives occasionally, on some winters, when the certain types of weather conditions happen. That's when you lose them. I ran my hives for 4 years previous to losing my hives that way with no insulation, and they were fine. But in the 5th year, I lost over half my hives. I ain't gonna do that again. So let's get these ready. I've been around already putting the upper arrangements on top here. So now all I have to do, oh, I forgot I've got to get these screws in. I don't really need to be suited up and have my gloves on right now, but I just don't want to get stung on the last day of working with the bees in the winter time. So, wear my gloves. In theory, there will be no bees coming out of the hives, but I was working them yesterday at this temperature, and some bees came out. Generally speaking, they're not hurting me. They're not going to sting me, but why bother? Why not just get the gloves on and complete the work? With palletizing hives like this means that there's not much room between them to help you get things like cozies down them. Usually the cozies slide down pretty well though. struggle with, oh, here's a bee out today. She's in for a shock. I struggle getting these on. These hives are a bit too close together and they're frozen in place. Last 4 wrapped. Now I just need to go around and get the screws into the rest of them. already see the frost forming on the upper entrance here, where the warm moist air is coming out of the hive. So there we are. Last hive's wrapped up, ready for winter. Don't they all look snug? Snug as bugs and bee cozies. Electric fence is still operational. Never know when we can get another bear waking up early. I'll keep my fence running all winter long. If it shorts out with the snow, it doesn't really matter. The snow goes away, it's working again. So 16 hives in this yard, all ready to go now. So that's it for being out in the yards right now. Now I'm just going around tidying things up, picking up the equipment that's been left around during the summer, making sure everything doesn't get buried in snow. I'm Peter Cowan, the Bee Whisperer. Gonna go and get some hot chocolate. See you next time.